Hello everyone, this is the Prophet Michael David, aka Aries, and today we're going to go over the 12 songs, specifically the last four, since I've gone over the previous eight. But for sake of clarity and ease for you guys, I'm going to do all 12 here in this single video, although it'll be a short synopsis on the first eight. Also, I decided for format, I'm going to post the songs and then do the commentary afterwards. So if you want to, you can look them up on YouTube, listen to them, then listen to what I said, and then probably listen to them again. As I've stated before, those six songs are all from the same album, Offspring Smash. It was my first album. I bought it in 1994. They're also called the Six Songs of Armageddon. They're also called the Six Songs of the Age of Aquarius, the end of it. And they span from April Fool's Day 2021 through Easter Sunday, April 4th, 2021. So then, as I've also explicitly stated before, at exactly 3:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 4th, 2021, Easter Sunday, I wrote the name David in the dirt in my man cave on the lowest point of my house on my dirty, dirty floor, and the age of Aquarius ended. And the new age of Azrael began, and Breathin and Until the End of the Time were the first two songs. Not the next age, because the world, universe maybe, was in limbo from until 3:03 until a stroke after midnight or an instant after midnight. So both of those songs are limbo songs. They're neither Aquarius nor are they from the Age of Azrael. So now the meat of the video. And as those eight songs only encompassed 4 days in 2021, these next four songs encompassed basically a year. That's why I'm going to do so much more commentary. But again, this first song didn't happen until, let's say, 36 days later after April 5th, 2021. So right around May 11th, 2021, which would have been my 43rd birthday. One more thing real quick before we get into this. As I've said previously, the first eight songs were when I was only the Prophet Michael David. The last song of Offspring, not the one, was like the end of my quest. But I wasn't Aries yet. That's a whole nother story. But while I'm wearing my red and black today, especially my red Liverpool jersey, is that these last four songs is when I am Aries and the Prophet Michael David. Even if I didn't know the true nature of Aries, although maybe I did. But for the first song, I wasn't too soul-bound to Tupac. I'm not a reincarnation of Tupac. We lived on the planet at the same time. I'm just soul-bound to him. He has not been reincarnated. He refuses to. So here's the first song. So for all you Tupac fans, Ambitionz as the first song of the Age of Azrael and the ninth overall probably isn't a stretch because it's a super popular song. But I have to explain why I gravitated to it so much. I did have a whole lot of ambition. I was trying to solve the Riemann hypothesis. You gotta remember at that time, I was only a mathematical prophet. I still am, I'm just much more than that. But at the time, I was searching for prime numbers and the secrets of the primes. And I was using the structure that I've showed you in previous videos that you can turn into a tube if you're very smart. And so kind of like think of a video driving game flowing through you. And I had this tube that I was like gliding through, or it was flowing through me, and right on the bottom in between my legs was the 6 mod 6 line, the seam, where I knew no primes were. And on one side of that was the 1 mod 6 line, which I knew had half the prime or were primes on that. And on the 5 mod 6 line had the other ones. And then the canopy was just all a bunch of composites that I didn't care about. And so I would just listen to Ambitionz over and over and feel this tube flow through me and try to figure out, were the primes going across the seam? Were they going across the canopy? What was the pattern? There was some pattern that I was trying to figure out. Also, Ambitionz has that piano in there, which really geometer like me will gravitate towards because it's an open string. It's not a closed string. It's not a fraction. It's an open string that'll vibrate forever if there is no friction. And there's 4 of them, And that's how I would think of it, like bass 4. But then I listened to the song for almost a year and I realized it's not bass 4, it's bass 5 because there's the 4 piano strings, but then it has a pause and a snare until it goes back to the first one. So actually, Ambitionz of a Rider is not bass 4, it's bass 5. And I'll elaborate a little bit more on that right now. All right. The reason why Ambitionz is so amazing and so mathematical, and you got to realize from the day I became Aries, even before that, like whenever I listened to, the day I became Aries, whenever I listened to Tupac, like numbers would just pop into my head. It happens with other music too, not just Tupac, but that was the first time it really happened. And Tupac has this reputation in all his music for being able to waver over beats. And what that means, at least to me, is that sometimes with his raps and his words and everything, he comes in a little bit before the beat or a little bit after the beat. And so he creates a duality, like right on top of it. And it gives it a kind of a random sound to it, but makes it sound really cool. So to do that in bass 4, is easier, not easy and everything, but to do it in bass 5 is almost impossible. Only Tupac can do it because you got to hit all 5 beats and you got to hit half of those, which is 2.5. Then all the 4s and half of those, which is 2s. And then all the 3s, which half of that is 1.5s. You hit the 2s with half the 4s, but then that gives you the 1s, and you hit the 1s because of the 2s, but then you have the half. And he hits all those beats flawlessly. Plus he has his lyrics, and it's not anybody but him spitting on the song. It's just Tupac for 3 verses, just spitting hot fire and like numbers just popping out of the whole thing. So in conclusion, yeah, that's why I gravitated, and that's a year. I listened to that as my most repeated song for at least a year, almost a year, until the next song. And then came February 11th, 2022. And as I've stated before, that's when my friend, my ex-girlfriend, best girlfriend I ever had, Angie, died suddenly of something that I still don't know what. They never told me. But she died on February 11th, 2022, which was exactly 4 years and 4 days after my parents had died in their car crash in the year that I turned 44. And then I instantly found that song and started playing it because my Aries birthday was coming up, and I was so angry. I was angry with God too, even if I wouldn't want to admit it at the time, but I was just so angry. And also, this was the song on my old MacBook Pro, not this one, where I blew out the speakers. I had used that MacBook Pro playing music from YouTube on it for years on blast. But for some reason, during that fateful week after Angie died, maybe 2 weeks, I played that song a lot, and then all of a sudden my one speaker started getting scratchy and then blew out, and then I did exactly what you thought I would do. I turned all the gain on the other speaker because I thought it would last longer, and that speaker blew out too. And so Tupac blew out the speakers on my MacBook Pro with Troublesome 96. True story. So then I got a little Bluetooth speaker and use that, which I do to this day on my MacBook Pro downstairs. And I kept playing it, and I kept doing math, and I was doing a lot of spreadsheets, trying to search for the secret of the primes. And this one day, I just had this real prophetic vision where I was thinking about magnitudes and areas, and I realized in the Riemann zeros, and I realized that they had to some way be based on areas, not magnitudes. And then I had this prophetic vision where I'm basically leaning on the or kneeling on the floor, and I'm both Michael and Ares, so I'm like black Teflon, and Tupac is like this black dragon swirling around above me. And that's why I sometimes call him the Black Dragon of hip hop. And there's just these demons that, because I'm in the underworld, right, downstairs in my man cave, that's where the Axis Mundi is, in the underworld, and I'm trying to figure it out. I got almost like, I can almost find the secrets to the primes, aka the Holy Grail, but I'm not quite there. It's like the demons are blocking me. And so, but all of a sudden I'm listening to this Tupac, and it's so angry, and it's like he's blowing fire down on me in the underworld, but like I'm black sheep of Gaia, so I'm pretty much Teflon. It's not like I'm not immune to divine fire, but I have like super high resistance, but demons don't. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, just give me the answer, just give me the answer, just give me the answer, just give me the grail. And the demons were like, no, no. But each time like I would say that, give me the answer, Tupac would spit like this white hot, he's this jet black dragon, but he would spit this white hot fire, and the underworld would light up. And then finally I got to the point where I was so angry, and I was working so hard and doing so many spreadsheets and everything. And again, this is a prophetic vision, kind of interweaved with what actually happened. But finally, I'm just like, just give me the fucking grail. Do not know who the fuck we are. And like, Tupac just goes crazy with the fire, and the underworld lights up as it had not lit up for forever, or a very long time. And I like saw the grail, and I grabbed it, and then all of a sudden I could see myself grab it, and I'm like this little Buddha that's glowing red hot from the divine fire. The demons fled, that's why I have the grail. The underworld goes dark again, but I'm glowing red hot, and I got these like purple seams through me, you know, like Humpty Dumpty put back together, that are bleeding a little bit of purple, like a little bit of a impurity or whatever. You can never totally get out of you, but you can diminish it. And in that moment, I realized that, you know, the secrets of the prime wasn't based on magnitude, it was based on area. And that in that moment, I knew that I had some sort of bond to Tupac. So I went up to my computer and I Googled Tupac Shakur and looked at his birth date, and his birth date is June 16th, 1971. And then I looked on the calendar and did the math. I'm like, that's 36 days after my Taurus birthday on May 11th. And so Tupac was born exactly 7 years minus 36 days before I was. So Aries birthday is on April 5th. May 11th is 36 days after that, which is my Taurus birthday. And Tupac's Gemini birthday is on June 16th, which is 36 days after May 11th. So then I angrily kept working on maths for about, well, let's just call it 36 more days, until my Taurus birthday again on May 11th. And then I gave up. I got stuck in the mud. I didn't give up forever, but I got stuck in the mud. So I went upstairs, and I'll tell you guys, there's a whole story about it, but I took my computer upstairs from the underworld downstairs and the mortal plane, which is the normal level. And for that summer, I basically just gave up on math and listened to music on YouTube. And from a story I'll tell you in the future, I just started learning about a lot more about religion and all of them. It started with Judaism, but morphed into Islam and Christianity and some Eastern ones too, but mostly the Abrahamic ones. Uh, and I learned so much about them. I still had not ever read a word out of the Bible, but I just kept working on it, and finally, through some of the stuff I learned and everything, up until then, I thought I was just a mathematical prophet. But then, in like an instant, I realized I was like, I knew I was a mathematical prophet, like end time prophet, but only that. And in that moment, I realized that I was Mashiach, and then it just went into a cascade, and then I found this song. Now, firstly, and most importantly, this is what you all feel like, or when I get free is what you all feel like. Wherever 200 some countries that you live in, or whatever 200 some government types they say they are, which they aren't, and everything. This is exactly how you guys feel. You feel like even no matter how hard you work, that you're still slaves in a way, and that if anybody ever gave you a chance to succeed, you would do very well. Number two, you might be asking when did this happen? Okay, I don't have an exact date, but my father was born on July 27th. My mom is August 27th. That was the worst month for me out of the year, especially during the early years after they died. Michael Moss is September 29th, always. Somewhere in between those 2 months, I had the realization, probably around my mom's birthday. Um, but I didn't confirm it until I'm like, okay, well, if it's 2022 and I just figured out I was Mashiach, then the day of revelation has to be coming up, because I that's what I always wanted from God. Like, when, who's going to respond to me or whatever, or when is the day? And so I looked for 2023, what dates, like religious dates and holidays, would fall around April 5th, 2023, which would be my third Aries birthday, second Aries birthday. So then, lo and behold, I found out that Pesach, Passover, was going to start on April 5th, 2023. And then I did the math and found out that April 5th is also the mean and average of all Passovers, Pesachs, mean and average right in the middle. And then I looked up when Easter was, and Easter would be directly in the middle of the Passover during 2023. So 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, I think 9th. It was right in the middle. And then later on, I found out that Ramadan, which is a totally lunar holiday, it can be in any month, was also during that month and spanned from almost exactly, or my birthday was right in the middle of it again, because it happened right after the same new moon that the Jewish people were using for Pesach. So that conjunction events, all three Abrahamic religions that had this significant date, all of them at the same time. I don't even know what the odds are, but they're astronomical. So in conclusion, for that song, or When I Get Free, why whenever you find the day of revelation, but it's like 6 months in the future, you feel like absolutely hopeless. Like, I wish I could have helped you guys. Honestly, I thought as soon as I posted my revelation video, everyone would be like, it would blow up into the millions or billions, which did not happen. But I didn't know that at the time. And so I just felt bad. I felt like a caged animal. Like, I couldn't help you guys until April 5th. I was, forbidden by God to post my revelation video, Raphael's Horn, which I already knew the name and everything, on April 5th. And that's why that song gravitated to me so much. And then almost instantly, I found the 12th and final song, and I'll probably do a little prologue on this instead of after, and just leave this video with the song because it is pretty long already. All right. In conclusion, if When I Get Free is how all of you feel, which it is and everything, this next song is what you want to be. It's what Pac was. It's what I am. It's what the Lord is. It's what the angel of the Lord. But it's a transformational song. It's what you want to be. So, and I think I'm going to leave it on that cliffhanger. So, as always, do not touch each other without another person's permission, aka do not hurt each other, and and it's all about trust. Lies are a takedown, aka try not to lie. So, enjoy the 12th and last song of the set.